Hello everyone, welcome to Project Portugal. This week we have some new additions to the family. I mean, like brand new. Boy. Okay, that's enough of the animals frolicking. Next up we have Calçada, and I've got some still shots of some of the stuff we did before, and this is the pattern around the centre mosaic. Just a pattern we decided to go with because it works best with what we had. This is the mould from the moongate, which you see in the background. We used for the central mosaic for the Celtic knot and dragon pattern. I used sacks of black and white pebbles to create the mosaic. When I made the design, I made a third pattern out of wood, as you see there, and then just repeated it 3 times to get everything symmetrical. And this is the finished product. All I've got to do now is finish the calçada around the outside. And this is me making a right mess of putting up some sunshade. It's about 36 degrees here today, so this will be much needed so I can do the work on the floor. First of all, a quick clean up in slow motion. So while I was cleaning up the rubbish that had blown into the excavation, basically, we found a little baby scorpion. Hopefully I'll be able to edit the video enough so you can see it. It was literally about an inch long.
Come on, mister. Hey.
I lay it. Tried several different methods in all these sections here, and I think that suits best what we're doing. So we've got a nice solid hardcore base here. I've dug around where I put the wall, the outside wall in. It's at least that decent hardcore, so it's fine to build off. And then I put the shape around the circle here with these little points on, and set granite sets or on a wet 3-to-1 mortar mix. Yeah, falling from the centre here to the bottom of the moon gate, so you don't get puddles. So what I'll do now is wash this down to make sure that the base of this is wet, because I'll be using a dry 3-to-1 mix of coarse sand to set these calçada in. And then by having the bottom wet already starts the process of the concrete hardening by soaking up the moisture. It can only harden if it gets moist. Gilly watching me work. Boy. Okay, some of the basic tools we need for this little project is something nice and soft to kneel on. It's going to be on your hands and knees all the time. I've put up some shade netting, which I'm going to have to move because we move around the sun. I've got a couple of trowels just for moving the cement mix around, and a couple of hammers for knocking in the calçada. Let's go and make a mix. You can see how dry and dusty everything is, so what I'm doing is I'll just add a touch of water just to keep the dust out. So the mix is obviously 3 buckets of coarse sand and 1 bucket of cement, dry a dry mix. I know I've added a bit of water, but like I said, just to keep the dust out. This is me moving the shade netting again, something I've done about 6 times in the course of the day. So I'm just spreading out the mortar mix something like level with the trowel first, and then I'll use the float just to flatten it off and firm it up a bit, and then just spread a little bit of the fluffy mixture back over the top to sit the calçadas back in. So basically when you're laying the actual stones, it's just pick them from a pile, see what fits. If you're happy with the way it looks, then just lay them in level with either side of the granite sets that I've put in, so it's nice and flat to walk on. So as you can see through the process of laying these, basically you're just looking at a pile of stones, picking whatever you think at the time will fit where you need it to fit, and just tapping it down to the right level. I find it's nearly impossible to be too precise because the stones aren't anywhere near square. None of them have got a perfect face on them. You could spend forever and ever trying to get it to look perfect, and it never will. So you just have to learn to live with a few little flaws as you go along. So it is a bit of a painstaking process, but I think the overall effect in the end is really nice. So what I'm doing now is doing another mix of 3-to-1, 3 fine sand and 1 of cement to mix in the joints all around the calçada. and also to lay the mosaic as well. And if you see here, there are a couple of little arch shapes which I've filled in with sand and cement mix, and I'll put a little mosaic in them after lunch. And here's lunch. So what we have here is a sack of black and a sack of white decorative pebbles, which we're going to make the mosaics from. Finally, we set the hose onto a fine mist and wash it down. There, all done. The two mosaics were supposed to be a snake and a dragonfly. And what I've done previously were a grasshopper, an ant, an oil beetle, a frog, a lizard, a bee and a scorpion. So thanks for watching guys, and see you all next week. Bye.